What's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So, today I wanted to do a deep dive into a gentleman called Marco Rubio. Now, you may have seen this gentleman parading around on the TV, on your newspapers, on every headline in Trinidad and the Caribbean in the last few days. And I wanted to give you a deep dive into who this man is and how this will affect the Dragon's gas deal. I'm going to link a video as to who this liar, this charlatan, this hypocrite is. And for those of you who've not seen this video before, you may be a bit shocked by what he has to say about the current president of America. Politics is a dirty game. It's an absolutely dirty game. So stay tuned. I'm going to link the video once I've finished with my comments. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Dragon's gas deal is, the Dragon's gas deal is a deal between Trinidad and Venezuela that was agreed between Maduro and the outgoing prime minister, or the last prime minister, Keith Rowley. For whatever you think of the man, and I know it's opinions are divided depending on what political party you align yourself with. Of course, he did agree to this deal with Venezuela and the leader of Venezuela, the democratically elected leader, by the way. For those of you, I see a lot of comments, people suggesting that he is an illegal leader or legal president or what. Listen, if you don't, please, I'd ask you to do your research before you make those stupid comments, and don't just take your information from whatever you see on whatever news network you watch. I know that they should be providing you with accurate news, but if you're looking at or you're watching CNN and you're getting your information from them, or whoever you're watching and you're getting information from, please do your due diligence and do your research. Maduro is the democratically elected leader of Venezuela. Now, America and whoever they align themselves with may not agree with the things he does, just like some of you don't agree with the things Keith Rowley did as prime minister. It doesn't mean you could just overthrow him. And that's essentially what's happened. America doesn't agree with, allegedly do not agree with the way he's treated the people of Venezuela, human rights and everything else they've accused him of. America is in no position to accuse anyone of anything. This is a country that's illegally invaded several countries from Iraq to Afghanistan with no intel, no real intel as to why they should have invaded these countries and killed the leaders of these countries, from Saddam to Gaddafi, were all murdered. If you go even further back into history, you see people like Patrice Lumumba murdered by Europeans, murdered by the Belgians. I believe the CIA had a part to play in that as well. So America's in no position to accuse anyone of anything. But they continue. They've nominated themselves as the world police. Of course, they're the only country in the world that seems to have military stationed in just about every country or continent on the planet. No other country does that. They control the World Bank. They own the World Bank, the IMF. They own that. So anyone who needs money, they have to go to America. Any country, I mean, not you, the individual. We don't borrow money from America as individual, but as countries like Venezuela, if they need money, they need to go through the World Bank. And if America decides that they're not going to lend you any money because they don't like you, you're in a lot of trouble. This is why Venezuela has been in the dire straits it's been in for the last how many years, because America has essentially cut the windpipe of Venezuela, cut their supply chain off. The oil, Venezuela is very oil and gas rich. So if you cut that supply off, they're unable to supply the natural resources that they have to make themselves money, and they become poor. It's a population, I believe, of 30 million people suffering right now. And what does that mean for Trinidad? We're the closest neighbor. So you're going to see even more refugees coming to the shores of Trinidad, a country that's already struggling with adverse poverty. That's the last thing Trinidad needs. All of this is being caused by America. Do your research. Don't just take your news from some idiot. Just do your research, please. Find out why Venezuela is in the trouble that it's in. It's because America has cut their windpipe. It's cut the supply chain off. They cannot supply anything. If America says no, then you lose your ability to supply anything to the world. And that's what America has done. Trump started doing it in 2017 to Venezuela. He even threatened to invade Venezuela. I believe America ultimately wants control of Venezuela like they've done routinely in the past. They overthrow the democratically elected leader. They put in a puppet leader, and that way they could control the natural resources of that country. This is what I believe America is attempting to do. Maduro is refusing to step down, so therefore he's being punished. And that punishment has a detrimental effect to the Caribbean, namely Trinidad. Now, I'm going back to the Dragon's Gas deal. For those of you who do not know the Dragon's Gas deal is a deal between Trinidad and Jamaica. I keep saying Jamaica. Trinidad and Venezuela. Don't know why Jamaica's on my mind, but Trinidad and Venezuela. That's who the deal's between. Venezuela has found that they've got a lot of natural gas buried under Venezuelan waters. And Trinidad, Keith Rowley and Maduro agreed that Trinidad could purchase some of that gas. The gas needs to be extracted. So Trinidad are going to use NGC, which is a Trinidad National Gas Company, publicly owned or public-owned company, alongside the British company or the British-Dutch company called Shell. You would have seen Shell all over Trinidad because they're always in Trinidad, taking our natural resources and not really putting the money back into our economy. So anyway, the Trinidad Gas Company, NGC, and Shell have agreed or did agree to extract the gas from Venezuela to supply to Trinidad. Obviously, we pay Venezuela a nice package, or Shell do, and NGC does, and we supply Trinidad with gas, and it secures Trinidad energy future for a long time. That's massively important to any country, to any economy. To secure your gas future is huge. But because America and Donald Trump has decided that he's going to put 25% tariffs on any country that does deals with Venezuela, that Dragon gas deal is null and void. It is not going to happen. Don't let any politician or anyone else tell you anything different. So long as Donald Trump is president, so long as Maduro is president, the Dragon gas deal between Trinidad and Venezuela is not going to happen. Trinidad cannot afford to risk losing their 40% trading deals partnership with America. It's too much. It's too much for them right now. At some point, we're going to have to decide whether we continue to be led or to do deals with America. We're going to have to decide. We're going to have to take the balance wheel off our bicycle and learn to ride for ourselves, because America is on a downward slope. We are witnessing the falling of an empire. We are witnessing the falling of the American empire in real time. Believe me, if there's one thing empires do, they fall. Whether it be the British, the French, the Spanish, the Greek, they all fell. And we're witnessing the falling of the American empire. The American empire took over from the British Empire after World War II, when Britain was decimated. And the American empire rose and took over from the British Empire. They created the World Bank, the IMF. Like I said to you before, They became the world police by putting military powers all over the world, all over in every continent is what they did. They nominated themselves as the world leaders. But like I said to you, empires fall. And they are falling. And whether another one takes over, whether China becomes a new empire, it looks likely that they will be. If you've heard of BRICS, the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's the pack. Google it. Look at the BRICS nation, a formidable pack of nation, way, way wealthier than the G7. The G7 nations includes America, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, and a couple other European countries. The BRICS nations are way more powerful than the G7. Economy-wise, military-wise, you name it, they are way more powerful. So we need to make Trinidad is in a sticky situation right now, especially for the next 4 years. We're on a sticky wicket with the current leadership of America. Maduro, I don't know how long he would last. Let's see if the Venezuelan people decide to rise up, because things, I believe, will get so bad that there will be some sort of revolution and he may have to step down so America could put their puppet regime in Venezuela, and at least things might be slightly better than it is. Who knows? But I believe he may end up stepping down. Marco Rubio, who's walking around the Caribbean and shaking hands with everyone, like I said, from Mia Mottley to our Prime Minister, Stuart Young, he is not going to agree to any deal. This man is not going to agree to anything. Don't be fooled by the nonsense. This man hasn't got a say in this. He goes back to America. He speaks to Trump. He tells Trump, oh, Trinidad wants to do a deal called the Dragon's Gas deal with Venezuela. What do you think, Trump? You think Trump gives a crap about any... Trump don't care about none of that. He has to report back to his master, Trump. The same guy he called a liar, a charlatan, and a hypocrite. The video is coming up. Stay tuned. This is dirty politics. This is what politics is about. They're all dirty. It's all a game. It's all nonsense. They're all liars for the most part. And yeah, there are some good ones amongst them, but for the most part, politicians are all liars and charlatans. They're all there to enrich themselves, to fill their pocket and take you to the cleaners. That's what's happening. We need to open our eyes, Trinidad. We need to open our eyes. We need to do for ourselves. This is why I've created this network. We need a movement to hold these people to account for once, because what we have right now is not working. We have an election coming up. Nothing's going to change. Whoever wins, nothing ain't changed. Listen, we need to wake up. We need to build something big enough, a platform big enough. I say it's this one. Yes, I am biased. Build a platform big enough to hold these people to account. We need entrepreneurship. We need businesses. We need agriculture. We need tourism. All of these sectors, tech, need to be looked. We're lacking in all of these sectors in the Caribbean. We're lacking. We export more than we bring in. We export more food. We export more food in Trinidad. Or we import, not export. We import more food in Trinidad than we export. We don't plant enough food to feed our own people in Trinidad. Believe that we do not even plant enough food to feed the people in Trinidad. We have to import the food from America. That tells you that the agricultural industry is undeveloped. Our economy is not diverse. It's not diverse in any way, shape, or form. We over-rely on oil and gas. We need to diversify our economy if we are to stand a chance in this modern world. I ain't even going to start with corruption and everything else that go on. I ain't going to start about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. I ain't going to start on the fact that the middle class is being decimated in Trinidad. The money is with the wealthy, And the poor people are sat there just waiting for the money to trickle down so they can get a few change here or there. Remember, every time someone gets poorer, someone else is getting wealthy, or getting richer. This is how money works. There is no poverty without someone else getting richer. This is how it works. Anyway, the video is going to be linked. Have a look at this video. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Trinidad Empowerment Network. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell a friend to come and join us. Let's create a movement so we can hold these people to account. Much love. See you guys on the next video. Take care. Peace.
Choker, always a choker. I guess that's what he meant to say. He spelled choker, C-H-O-K-E-R, choker. He called me Mr. Meltdown. Let me tell you something. Last night in the debate during one of the breaks, two of the breaks, he went backstage. He was having a meltdown. First, he had this little makeup thing applying like makeup around his mustache because he had one of those sweat mustaches. Then he asked for a full-length mirror. I don't know why, because the podium goes up to here, but he wanted a full-length mirror. Maybe to make sure his pants weren't wet. I don't know. Then I see him pacing back and forth, and then he's huddled in the corner talking to somebody. He's like waving his arms up and down, and the person's trying to calm him down. So, anyway. But I'm a choker. All right. Next tweet. Leet weight choker Marco Rubio looks like a little boy on stage, not presidential material. He meant to say lightweight, but he spelled it L-E-I-G-H-T, so he got that wrong. Looks like a little boy on stage. It's not that I look like a little boy. I wouldn't even be the youngest president, but he would be the oldest president ever elected. And it's like an 8-year term, so you start to worry. So how does this guy, not in one tweet, 3 tweets, misspell words so badly? And I only reached 2 conclusions. Number 1, that's how they spell those words at the Wharton School of Business, where he went. Or number 2, just like Trump Tower, he must have hired a foreign worker to do his own tweets. Guys, we have a con artist as the front runner in the Republican Party. A guy who has made a career out of telling people lies so that they come in and buy his product or whatever he does. You ever heard of Trump vodka? You have? Well, it isn't around anymore. Or Trump mattress, or Trump air, or Trump ice, or Trump water. Those are all businesses that are gone because they were disasters. Okay? Trump hot air, yeah. So we cannot allow the conservative movement to be taken over by a con artist.
With so much to say, where should I start? They finally let the best kept secret come out the vault. I played my part and I never took